Man. Do you ever understand? Because God tell me testimony. Do you ever understand? Walking one day at a time. I don't think y'all ever get it. You'll never get it. You'll never understand. Because you too busy following everybody else. Welcome to, welcome to, welcome. I hope you woke. Explain.
They hate that you come to work, you do your job, and you go home. They hate that you're not saying anything. You're just going in, clocking in, and doing your assignment, going home. The reason why they hate that is because they don't know who you are at your job. They want to know who you are. They want to know if you're an informant. They want to know if you're a snitch. They want to know if you talk, and spread rumors. That's what they want to know at your job. And it's hard for them to know that. So since they cannot know that, they try to give you an assignment to see if you will tell on somebody. They try to be put you in the category of one of them. And that's how it is at some of these 9 to 5s. The ones that I worked at was like that, and I'm sure the ones that you work at is like that now. If you go home, I mean, if you go to work and you come home and you do it all over again and you don't engage into the jobs, they're going to be curious. They're going to try to push your buttons. They're going to ask and say, well, um, what do you do? Because they did me like that. What do you do besides when you're not here? I just say, hey, I'm just here to collect the check. I'm going home. I'm clocking in, doing my work, and I'm going home. That's it. My personal life is my personal life. And when you say that, they're gonna spread rumors to you regardless. They're gonna spread rumors about you regardless of you saying that. You can't just say that you can go to work, clock in, do your work, and go home. Because then they're gonna think you an informant. They're gonna think you a snitch, or they're gonna think you too goody two shoes. It's sad that's how this work industry is. And when I worked there, they thought that, they said, well, since they're not talking to none of us, then let's try to get them to talk. Let's try to get them to, let's try to find their weakest point. And that's what they tried to do with me. They tried to find my weakest point, but they couldn't because I have God on my side and they couldn't. My mindset was to go do my work, go home. That was my mindset, spend time with my family. And it got to a point to where I didn't show them my actions at work. Because if I showed them my actions at work, or if you showed them your actions at work, they got you. They're going to figure out a way to manipulate you. They're going to figure out a way to turn it against you. And actions home. I would take my actions in my driveway and I just let them see my actions. And if they're not seeing your actions, they're going to also try to scroll and see what's your background. They're going to try to look you up on social media, try to be friends with you on social media. That happened too. And they're going to, and if it's not them, supervisor, your supervisor is going to ask you some questions, try to give you an assignment, see if you're a snitch or a rat, or see if you'll spread rumors. And you have people like that at the job. You have several many people. your coworkers is really not your friends because you have several people like that at the job. You have people that say, okay, you have people that's in different categories. You have the goody two shoes. You have those people, and and they thought that I was a part of the goody two shoes because I didn't engage with none of them. I just did my work and go home. They thought you was those, or they thought you was a snitch informant that you was gonna go back and tell the supervisor, or go back and tell upper management, or watch them and see if they make a mistake to go to upper management and an informant, or they thought you was the person that spread rumors. You know, you be fired. And then you have managers, oh, that's not as good too. And for the areas that we went, I had this supervisor. He ran the oil field crew. It was roughly, it was him, his brother-in-law, which he would never fire because that's his brother-in-law. And this is the crazy part. Me and two more workers, okay? So he ran that crew. He was the supervisor. He was the guy you go to. He's the one that did everything in that crew, right? So he was married, but every town he would go to, he was sleeping around. He was finding some girl down there, Hispanic girl, whatever, and sleep with them at that location. And he would pay them to sleep. He would pay them like money, because when you oil field, you're making money, and there's a lot of people that's doing that. You know, messing around on their loved ones, messing around on their wives and stuff, messing around on their girlfriends, their spouses and stuff, because you're in the oil, you go for 2 weeks at a time, sometimes 3 weeks, depending on your schedule. And he did that. He said, "Hey, this between. I know that you new to our group, and that's what he told me. Straight up came to my face and told me, I know you're new to our group. Six on, on. So he said, okay. He said, hey, man, I hope that you don't say. I hope that you don't say nothing. He said, I mean, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not. I don't want to be a part of it. And so it worked. So he had to figure out a way to get rid of me. He got rid of me. I was one of the workers. Actually, I was one of the top three. He's a good worker. You got to keep him on your squad. But he figured out a way how to get rid of me. He was complaining. Oh, when the boss, and this is how he got rid of me, when the boss was complaining to him that production was low, he blamed it on me. He said, well, the new guy trained him up as much as let's get it. Like kudos, like, hey man, you glad you're part of our team. And I'm like, thank you. And so he said, man, he probably was thinking in his head, supervisor's like, man, he's gonna tell on me, or he's gonna try to see my wife and tell on me and snitch to my wife. And this is his brother-in-law worked with him. I'm if my brother-in-law was messing around with my sister, I'm cutting that off. Job or no job. If I'm the assistant manager and you got me in that position, dude, that's personal. I'm cutting you off and I'm saying, hey, you can't be doing this to my sister. This is my sister. You gotta stop it now. If you don't tell her, I will tell her, and then y'all get a divorce because I'm protecting my sister, my big sister or my little sister. He didn't say that. He was just about the money. And then this is funny. He was engaged with his sister. And he was messing around. I'm like, one big happy family. I say, I'm glad I stayed out of that. So he found a way to get rid of me. He kept pointing the downfall of their production at me, even though the other co-workers thought that I was actually doing a good job, which the supervisor was not doing a good job. He was just not meeting the production levels, but he blamed me. And so he came up to me and he told me this before he was getting ready to get rid of me. I think I stayed at the oil field for about, I was hauling water. I stayed at the oil field job for about 2 more days before he actually terminated me. He said, "Hey man, production is low, man. You got to step up to the plate." And I'm looking at myself like, okay, I'll step up to the plate, even though I already did as much as I can, and the other workers saw it. I didn't argue. I didn't question him. I just said, okay, I'll step up to the plate. So that made it even a bigger threat to him. Because now I'm accepting his hatred towards me. And so I even did even more. I was sitting there gasping. I was working, pushing, coming back, calling water quick as possible, doing my numbers. And then 2 days later, he said, "Man, I told you, man, step up. You're not stepping up." And he said, "I think they're gonna let you go. I think they're gonna let you go." And then I was like, "Okay, all right, cool, cool. I'm doing the best I can, but okay, if they want to let me go, that's fine. I got a CDL. I can always do something else." I felt that, but I was like, "Okay, I respect that. I'm doing the best I can." So I defended myself. And then I think like that next day, he said, "Man, I tried to save you as much as I can. I the corporate, I plead, I begged." And I'm like, "You didn't beg." That's what I was thinking in my head. Like, you didn't beg, man. You wanted to let me go is because that I wasn't a part of your cheating scheme, sleeping with other women in different cities that we go to do oil field work. I wasn't a part of that. That's what I was thinking in my head. So you let me go on purpose because the other people kept your secret. I didn't care about your secret. And so he said, "Man, I'll see what I can do, man." He said, "Just let's just keep working." So me in my mind, I'm thinking like, why should I keep working when I know I'm going to get fired? And what I did was I went back out there, did my work like I want to. I mean, not want to, but I create even above my numbers. They said, "Man, hey, rumor is that these other workers that I came to me and said, hey, rumor is I'm going to try to they should really." And they said, "What did you do? Did you do anything wrong?" I ran to the town, my city, and I said, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?" And he said, "Good, man." He said, "Bro, I need to talk to you." I was like, "What?" He said, "Man, everybody was upset that they got rid of you. Our production level, dude, it dropped like 20% after you got fired." And I was like, "Whoa, oh, well, I'm sorry, man. I did the best I could. I didn't want to get involved." And he just insisted on telling me. He said, "Oh, you know the supervisor?" "Yeah, man, dude, they brought in another person, and that person had the wife and told him that, hey, your your husband is sleeping around because he told him and tell that I'm sleeping around." And he said, "No, man, I ain't that type of person. I'm not that with your wife. If I see her, I'm gonna say, hey, if she asks or looks suspicious, I'm gonna tell her. I'm not gonna hold nothing." And so he said that it was a big fight, and I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." And then the guy that was cheating on his wife, that's the supervisor. I was like, "Man, that's shady, man." And he said, "Man, what are you doing now?" I didn't want to tell him. I just said, "Oh, I'm still, working in a better oil field company that's treating me with respect. I'm getting all the hours I want." And he said, "Oh, that's good. Well, congratulations, man. I'm glad you're doing that." And they said, "Man, I'm still there too, man. I'm about to look for something else, man. Is your place hiring?" And I want to get involved. I said, "You can apply. I don't know if they're hiring, but you can apply for it." And so I gave him the information to apply for it so he can help himself. But that's one thing that I wanted to share with you guys of how that I'm getting ready to go do a quote for my business. So that's one thing I just wanted to share with you guys of how the system worked and how that people, even if you just do your work and you go home, people either think you're an informant, a snitch, or a part of the secret up in the top upper management that just snuck his way into a regular position to see if he can get somebody, an investigator, or a person that's just a loudmouth troublemaker. They put you in those categories. They never ever put you in the category of just a normal worker that's here to collect a check and go home and be with their family. They don't put you in that category. That the jobs that I work, that category don't exist. They'll put you in some kind of category. And so they put me in a category with the goody two shoes category, that I'm the teacher's pet or I'm the supervisor's pet, and that I'm trying to go up the career ladder, or I'm trying to take their spot. That's what category they put me in when I was just working my job and going home. I kept to myself. They don't like a person keeping to themselves because they're gonna try to trigger something. They're gonna try to find out your weakness, and they're gonna try to use it against you to make you pop, to make you get on their level. And that's how Satan works, guys. He worked really hard in this world to do that to you, to manipulate you at your job site, wherever you at. But I didn't back down. I ended up getting fired by not joining their little clique, and me getting fired, I prayed about it. You know, it kind of hurted me too inside. It hurted me when I got home. At the time I wasn't married then. It hurted me, and I told my sister about it, my family about it, and my family's like, "It's a good job." It was a good job. I was getting so much money at that job. I was in an oil field. I was killing it. But unfortunately, they had to let me go, is because that I wouldn't bow down. I wouldn't get into the categories that they want. But after that, I was blessed with a better job, a more paying job, all the overtime I want, all the hours that I wanted in the oil field, and I made twice as much. But the job that I did leave was really good because I only did 70 hours as a truck driver, oil field, hauling water, and I was getting, if I worked 50 hours or 60 hours, they still gave me 70 hours. That was as nice as that job that I was at, that I got fired from. They were nice. If you did 50 hours, you still got 70. If you did 60 hours, you got 70. If you did 65, you still got 70. So it was a cool little thing that they promoted to their workers as a thank you for joining us, and yeah, thank you. We're gonna make you the most money as you can. Versus the job that I had after that, I was making several dollars more, and then I had the option to come home every day, and sometimes I work like 2 or 3 days not coming home, which was fine by me because I was doing so much overtime. I doubled the money that I made from that job. That job that I had was just more comfortable. And sometimes God will move you to a better position and stuff, and that's what happened. And this is the funny thing: two of those workers that was working with me ended up coming to the job that I was at, and I ended up being the lead man over those two workers that came to work with me, and that's funny. And he was above me, now I'm above them, and but I just they saw me. They saw me as a person that's just here to make a check and go home. Even when they came to my new job, they saw me as a person just to make a check and go home. And they said, "Oh, he's one of the real ones. He's one of the real deals that's just there to go work and make money and spend time with his family. We ain't gonna mess with him." But they were, when they end up working there, one of them was end up, he talk. You can tell him one story and it can get back to somebody totally different, and that's how he was. But the other one, he was the actual wanting to go up the career ladder. He's like, "Man, I'm gonna try to be a supervisor." He was saying he was gonna try, "Man, I'm gonna try to get there. You in the lead position, I'm gonna try to get that in X amount of days." So you had those two categories of people. I didn't fit into none of those categories. And some of us is out here that are workers that don't even fit in none of those categories. They have a here to get a check and go home. But they get put in a category. And so if you those kind of people that get put in a category, I'm so sorry that you're going through that, and I pray that God will reveal to you a side hustle or something to make you extra money, or actually something that can start you a business, and that way you can better your family. And I'm sorry if you're going through that, and I'll pray for protection over you. I hope you like this video. Give this a thumbs up. comment in the comment section if you're going through that as well. God bless.